You're listening to the Cruise Tips TV Unplugged podcast. Today we have a returning guest on the show. Her name is Joyce, and she did something very, very special. And most cruisers will never reach this level. But today we're talking about someone who did and how she did it. Welcome to Cruise Tips TV Unplugged. I'm your host, Sherry, and we invite you to join our cruise-loving family as we travel the world creating cruise videos and vlogs. In this podcast, we talk tips, tactics, and strategies to help you make every cruise your dream cruise. Joyce, welcome to the program. How are you?
Hey, Sherry, thank you so much. I am doing well. It's so good to talk with you again.
I'm glad to have you back. And just to give people the full info, because I think I did kind of a teaser there for the intro and I didn't really reveal what the podcast was about. But you guys, today Joyce has offered to come back on the show because as one of Royal Caribbean's most dedicated cruisers, clearly, she has actually just achieved, I should say she and her husband have actually just achieved Pinnacle Club status. And this, if you're aware of what it is, this is a milestone that very few cruisers ever reach. So today we're going to break it down. Joyce knows this program so much better than me, so she's going to help us understand what Pinnacle status includes and what it is, how many points you need to get there. We're going to talk about the perks that make a difference once you get there and whether maybe it's worth it to chase this. We're also going to share some strategies for cruisers who want to try to get there. So, Joyce, to start with, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then maybe after you do that, for somebody who is brand new cruising to Royal Caribbean, what is a Pinnacle Club anyway?
Hey, okay, so thanks, Sherry. My husband and I live in Georgia, so we enjoy cruising. We've been cruising for many years now, and over the past, I would say 15 years, mostly with Royal Caribbean. So we had just started, working basically just cruising when we could and enjoying our vacations, never thinking that we would become Pinnacle members. I remember seeing people on the ship wearing the little pins and asking them, what does that mean? And Pinnacle actually means that you have 700 points in the Crown and Anchor Society, which is Royal Caribbean's loyalty program. You are automatically enrolled in that program with your first cruise. So you don't have to do anything extra to have those points count towards your 700 goal if you want to be Pinnacle. You just basically cruise.
You cruise.
So, yeah, that's it. Um, so we cruise.
You
You know,
cruise.
we
Oh
we
my gosh, I love
we have
it.
kind of yeah, we've kind of used it as we call it our, beach house. We would go when we had a weekend off or, for a week here or there during the years. And as we've gotten older, became empty nesters, had a little more time to cruise. Instead of doing something else, we would cruise.
Yeah.
So that's how it kind of got started.
Yeah, and you stuck with it.
We did, and we enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's always something different. So every time you go, you can have a different experience.
Yeah, totally. So to back up a little bit, I did a little screen grab this morning of the Crown and Anchor kind of tiers because I had kind of forgotten all of them. And correct me if I'm wrong on any of these, but I think there's 6. We've got gold, which is where you start, and then platinum once you reach 30, emerald when you get to 55 points, diamond when you get to 80 points, diamond plus 175, which by the way, diamond and diamond plus are awesome as it is. Like getting to Pinnacle is crazy cool. And then I don't remember if I said Diamond Plus yet. I think I did. 175 is Diamond Plus. And then Pinnacle Club, the highest level of achievement as of now, you're at that 700 level. So, oh my gosh, what did it feel like for you and your husband the moment that you hit Pinnacle? Like, did you know it was coming? Was it like, I'm going on this cruise and we're crossing over? Or did it hit you kind of like a surprise?
Oh no, we knew. So probably a couple of well, just to back up a little bit when you were talking about the different tiers.
Yeah.
I think it is really important and kind of what kind of chugged us along the way was the fact that with Royal Caribbean, you do get when you become diamond, you start getting some really great benefits. And I think that is important for everybody to know. Um, one of the most talked about, probably most loved is that 4 free drinks anywhere on the ship every single day you're on your cruise. And that starts at Diamond. So, yeah, we got to Diamond, that was great. We got to Diamond Plus, that was great. And, we thought there was such a big jump between Diamond Plus and Pinnacle. Not sure if we'll ever get it or, it's way in the future. But a couple of years ago, my husband, who's a real spreadsheet guy, he's into the numbers, he started looking at it and he's like, we could become Pinnacle in just like 2 years.
Hmm.
So we started mapping our cruises out, and, just seeing where we were and as we went along. And it's funny because we had a couple of groups of friends who said they really wanted to be there when we became Pinnacle. So we had to plan it out ahead of time because we wanted to book a cruise with those other people. And then it was funny because we had a couple of cruises come up in the meantime. We were like, no, we can't go because we would turn Pinnacle before, and we don't want that to happen. We wanted it to happen on a certain ship with a certain group of people that we had planned that ahead of time.
That is funny. That is funny. You're like, nope, can't do it. I've got a
No.
plan here. So it was, you got to celebrate it with friends on the ship. How cool was that?
It was really cool. I will say we did it on the Icon of the Seas, and when we got on the ship, we went to the Crown and Anchor desk and met the loyalty ambassador who had emailed us ahead of time to
Mm.
get some information. So they do, they contact you ahead of time, making sure this is going to be your Pinnacle cruise. They ask you some questions because they want to present you at the loyalty meeting that they have on board. So anyway, we told them when we went to the desk, we were like, we have some friends with us, and they were so accommodating. They had front row seats for them at the ceremony, and they treated them just like they treated us, which
Oh,
was awesome. I know they see people turn Pinnacle every single cruise, but I have
mm,
to say they acted like it was the biggest deal in the world, and
yeah.
like we were the most special people on that ship. So
I
it was
can
great.
imagine. Well, they should. 700 cruise points is a lot of points. I mean, that's
It is a
significant.
lot of points. You get 1 point for every night that you sail, and if you do sail single in a room, you get 2 points,
Hmm.
or if you sail in a suite, you get 2 points for every night.
That was going
Now,
to
a
be my
lot
next question. I'm so glad you rolled into it. This is the stuff
yeah,
that people love to hear is like, how do they calculate it? Because we always have to be careful not to say like cruise days, right? Like when you think of Pinnacle Club, it's
right.
not necessarily that you and your husband have spent 2 years on a ship, because really 700 is like just under 2 years. But there's these other workarounds, right? Like you said, the
Yeah.
suites, cruising solo. How about solo cabins? I wonder if,
So, I don't think there are any true solo cabins on Royal Caribbean,
oh,
so
right.
anytime you're solo in a cabin, you get the 2 points.
Got it.
Um
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. The other thing is, with the pandemic, we did have some cruises booked ahead.
Mhm.
And they did give some extra cruise points for that.
Mhm.
So like instead of earning one, you would earn two just in a regular room
Mhm.
on a regular night. So there were some cruises back in 2021 where we had some extra points that we would not have had, had they
Mhm.
not made those offers, to try to get people back into cruising.
Have you seen any double point or triple point offers since the pandemic, or do you feel like that was totally isolated to that time?
I haven't seen any since then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they need to do it now. I don't
Yeah.
think they feel they had to do it have to do it now.
I was asking because someone contacted me this week and told me that they actually got emailed from Carnival Cruise Line. Carnival has sort of their bit of a shakeup right now with their loyalty
Right.
program, and they're gold and they're trying to get to platinum. And they said that they were getting offers for 3 times the points at Carnival, which I was really surprised to hear, but it's not for everybody. It's like if you didn't get the email and it's not in your VIFP club, it's not for everyone. But anyhow, I know that's a completely different topic. I always think it's interesting when cruise lines offer the multiple point. promos. It's such a great opportunity to accelerate that
Well, yeah,
process.
and I mean,
Mhm.
it's a plus for everybody at that
Yeah.
point too. I mean, because it I don't know, to me, it's like something that doesn't cost a company really anything. Like they're going to the people are going to be in the rooms anyway. Like I don't know. I'm always about like what can a company do to make its customers feel valued and also want them to come back. And I mean, that just seems like an easy way. And so, I know the things that are Carnival's going through right now, that sounds like I mean, that's a great opportunity for people
Yeah.
just to go ahead and bump up,
Yeah,
while they
might
have the
as well,
time.
right? Before they get
Yeah.
the change
Yeah.
happens. So I don't know if you and your husband kept count, but do you know about how many cruises it took you to get to Pinnacle?
I think it's maybe around between 70 and 80. My husband would know that
Mhm.
number. I don't, but
Okay.
yeah,
That's
I
not
I would
bad.
say
That's not bad,
something.
though.
Yeah, something like that, I
Okay.
think.
I mean, if you think about that, it's like on average 10-ish excuse me, is that right? 10. Yeah, 10-ish points per cruise. This sounds about right on average.
Yes,
Yeah.
something like that. And I mean,
Yeah.
even in Royal too, like a junior suite counts as 2 points. It
Oh.
doesn't have to be like a grand suite or,
Oh.
one of their upper level rooms. So,
Yeah. So maybe spending a tiny bit more, having a little more space could really help
mhm,
accelerate.
yes.
What are some of the biggest perks that come with Pinnacle status?
Okay, so I think, like I said before, the number one thing that a lot of people think about are the drinks.
Okay.
So with Pinnacle, it's 6 drinks per person per day. And that includes, any specialty like a specialty coffee in the morning. It could be, a glass of wine or a cocktail. They give you up to a certain limit. And if you do order something like, say, a glass of wine that's more expensive, you just pay the difference.
Mhm.
So, it's basically, I mean, pretty much a lot of people don't get a drink package because, they can have their 6 drinks. And then if they ended up wanting something else, they would just pay for it instead of paying for a drink package.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, the other thing, which can save a lot of money, is you get one free device
Mhm.
to use on the internet
Wow.
for the
For the
duration of your
duration.
cruise.
Wow, okay.
So, yeah, so that's a big savings as well. Um, and most people, do want to take advantage of that as well. There are discounts too for food as far as specialty restaurants go. And this actually does start before you become Pinnacle, where they have the BOGO offer on
Mm.
nights 1 and 2. So if you go in, say you want to eat at Chops Grill, the first night you would pay for one person and get a second person for free
Mhm.
on nights 1 or 2. So that's a great savings for people too.
Wow.
Um, yeah, and then, now after you are Pinnacle, you get a $25, specialty dining credit
Mhm.
for your cruise if it's 5 nights or more. So, like, if you wanted to go to Playmakers or somewhere like that where probably wouldn't spend more than $25 anyway, then you get a free meal. So
Wow.
that's kinda nice. There are a lot of other discounts too, as far as, like, if you wanted to buy a bottle of wine, say you were with a big group and you wanted to buy a bottle of wine for dinner, they give you percentages off depending on how much that wine, costs. Another
Okay.
big advantage too is priority seating. So, like, for shows, if you when you go in, you just can show them your, Pinnacle card, and then they have a section that they'll seat you in. Um, and that's really nice. It's usually, a kind of a preferred seat
Mhm.
and kind of, guarantees you that you don't have to get there quite as early to make sure that you get a nice seat. They do also have a way to embark and disembark the ship. Um, we don't we haven't used the disembark, feature
Mhm.
because we just carry our luggage off all the time ourselves, but when you're going in, you don't have to go through the main line.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they kinda separate you off, and it's always, like, a much shorter wait. I mean, Royal does a great job. It seems like almost at every port getting you on your ship really quickly, but just kinda bypassing more people is nice. They have a separate, like, set of like, where you go through security is separate,
Mhm.
and you can just kind of go through, and that's faster. Um, let's see what else.
That's a good start. When we can always
Yeah.
pick up more later. But
Okay.
before we hit the record button, you and I were talking about the fact that there's like a Pinnacle perk that a lot of people don't realize about using points if you're cruising with another like affiliate cruise line. Can you explain what you know about that, Joyce?
Yes. So let's just say that you wanted to go on one of Royal's other, one of the Royal Caribbean banners, other cruises. Say you wanted to go on a celebrity cruise,
Mhm.
you could let them know that you're obvious, like myself, I'm obviously going to be more loyal to Royal. So my points that I would earn on a celebrity cruise would actually be added to my Royal Caribbean points.
That is
And
so
I'm not an
cool.
expert in that because
Yeah.
that's brand new, but,
Yeah.
at least, would it allows people to, like, go on a different cruise line,
Mhm.
explore that without, missing out on points that they would have earned if they'd have taken a Royal cruise.
It's so genius. It's so smart of them to do that to give people the choice because then
Mhm.
they can keep it all in the family, keep that stock price
Yeah,
high and but still encourage
exactly.
people. That's so cool. So, with all the perks that we've talked about, are there any of the perks to being at the Pinnacle Club level that change the experience for you and your husband specifically? Like what really makes that impact for you?
Well, we're enjoying the Coastal Kitchen experience. That is a special restaurant that they have on the Oasis and on the Quantum class and on the Icon class ships. So it's a restaurant that people who are booked in suites can go to, and also people who are in the Pinnacle Club,
Mhm.
or if you are at a certain level, also within the tiers in the casino program. So they have breakfast, lunch, and dinner there every day that you're on the cruise.
Mhm.
And it's just basically it's a little more personal experience. The menu changes every day, but they do have a set menu that does is the same every day.
Mhm.
Um, and it's just kind of like you have one waiter maybe with 2 or 3, 4 tables instead of, someone that, is scrambling to take care of more people. So
Yeah.
it's a little more personal, it's a little quieter, less rushed in and out. Um, just a smaller venue to go
Yeah.
and eat. So that's really nice. We like that. They also have the Sweet Lounge, which has a happy hour
Mhm.
in the evenings. They have a continental breakfast in the morning there, and it's just a place to go throughout the day if you just want some place quiet. If you want to go read, it's just a
Mhm.
nice place to hang out on the ship, away from crowds.
Yeah. Is it
Also on the Icon class ships
Mhm. Mhm.
and on the Oasis class ships, they have the suite deck that's really like a separate area. Now, all of the ships have a certain area for the Pinnacle people, but
Mhm.
um, that those suite areas on those ships are really larger, and a dedicated bar area. It's
Yeah.
just a lot more quiet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like some of the ship within a ship concepts that are out there.
Yes, totally. I would
Yeah.
describe it that way. Mhm.
With Coastal Kitchen, Joyce, is the menu standard cruise fare or is it meant to be like spa healthy kind of fare?
Um, I think it's a little healthier than like in the main dining, but I wouldn't call it. I mean, I don't think anybody would be turned off because of that. I mean,
Right.
you can get a steak every night.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, you have the option, but I mean that's it. You have the options.
Sure.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So you can still get the nice, probably just a bit more elevated items.
Right. Yes. Like
Okay.
just say your Caesar salad might come with tomatoes in it instead of,
Mm.
just lettuce and croutons, that
Yes.
sort of thing. And it does depend ship to ship. I mean, it looks a little different ship to ship, but yes,
Yeah.
everything is just a little more elevated than you get in the main dining. Although I'd still love main dining.
Yeah. You do
I'm
that
still a
too.
fan myself.
Do you and your husband still, or do you buy a drink package, or does the 6 drinks per day satisfy that for you?
We just use that. We do not buy a drink
Mhm.
package. We
Okay.
actually, and I know we've talked before because we have status in the casino, so we drink in the casino. So We call it drink package light because there is
There's
plenty of
plenty.
drinks.
Yes.
By the time, you have your 6 drinks in the morning, throughout the day,
Yeah.
and then if you wanted to have a drink at night, so,
You'd be
yeah,
good to
that's
go.
plenty.
And that
Yeah, we
includes
never
like
buy the drink package.
coffees and waters. Do they count towards the 6?
No, only
Oh.
alcoholic drinks do. Well, no, I'm sorry, a specialty coffee
Oh,
would
yeah.
count.
Okay.
But yes. But I will say the Sweet Lounge and then also the Crown Lounge, which is available for Diamond and Diamond Plus.
Mhm.
Both of those have, a coffee machine, and, I did not discover that very early
Mm.
in my, career with cruising, but they have coffee machines in there that you can make your own espresso drinks.
Wow.
So that way it doesn't count towards your drinks for the day.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's nice. Those are open all the time.
I
You
think
can go
I
in and
could
have a
get to
coffee.
the I think I could get to the diamond level and be perfectly happy for the rest of my life because I would be fine with 4 drink coupons a day and an espresso machine. That would be like I would save so much money on every cruise. I gotta get myself there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
doable.
Yeah,
It's
it really
doable.
is. I mean,
Yeah.
you spend a little now, but you do recoup it. And then just like the Wi-Fi. I mean, oh
Yes.
my goodness. Every day you don't buy Wi-Fi on a ship is
Yeah.
that's a lot.
That is a lot. It's gotten so expensive too. Now, I know was this last cruise that you went on, was this your first one sailing as Pinnacle, or have there been a few since you reached
Just
it?
one.
Okay.
Yeah, we've only sailed one time since becoming Pinnacle. Yeah.
And during that cruise, do you feel like they treated you differently on board? Like since you've reached that level, is it a different experience?
I do. I mean, I do. I feel like it's okay. So this is what happened one day. It was kind of funny. We met our room attendant who was taking care of our room for us every day.
Mhm.
Super nice guy. Um, and one day I was coming into the room and he was talking to someone else and he introduced me. He said, "This is my supervisor."
Mhm.
And, we're chatting just for a second. And he brought up the fact that I was Pinnacle to his supervisor,
Mhm.
which I thought that was like,
Wow.
I didn't know that was normal, but
Mhm.
I mean, we had never talked to each other about the fact that I was Pinnacle, but he knew, I guess, from the paperwork he saw in our room or whatever, he had been made aware that we were Pinnacle, and he wanted to make sure that his supervisor knew that. So yeah, I do think that they do like to acknowledge you and thank
Mhm.
you, for your loyalty. I feel like they're very appreciative of it.
Yeah, it's nice just to have that verbalization too, or just the fact that people acknowledge it. It doesn't have to be a party, confetti, free stuff in your
No,
room. It can just be like, thank you for your loyalty. That feels so good.
yes, yes. I mean, literally, the room attendant telling his supervisor I was Pinnacle, that like made my cruise. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
he thought it was that important. So
Yeah. So you had mentioned, I want to talk a little bit about your Royal Caribbean journey. You had mentioned you've probably done close to 70 to 80 cruises. Do you remember what year you started cruising with Royal Caribbean approximately and maybe your very first ship?
I do remember because it was our honeymoon.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so 1992,
Mhm.
we went on the Nordic Prince.
Gosh, how fun.
I know, an old tiny ship, but it was out of New York, and we went to Bermuda.
Ooh,
And
nice.
we came yeah, and it was in 1992, we came back in Hurricane Andrew.
Oh my
So
gosh, you're kidding.
I know, and I cruised again, so I
Yes.
figure,
Was it
after
was it
that.
rough? Did were you I'm sure they went around the storm to some degree, but how was that experience?
Yeah, they did. I mean, I know they did the very best they could, but it was kind of rough coming back. I do remember, but I was young, and I
Mhm.
mean, I thankfully I do not feel motion sick on the ships at all. But I mean, we did lose a lot of people in dinners. I mean, we would be the
Ooh.
only ones sitting there. It seemed like for several nights. A lot of our table mates wouldn't make it, but no, I mean, it
Oh,
was it was fine, and you know,
yeah.
it rained a couple days, but other than that,
Yeah,
just a little rocky, not
just
too
a little
bad.
rocky. So what made you and your husband stick with Royal Caribbean instead of venturing out a whole lot to other lines?
Well, actually, we did go through a period. We did a lot of Carnival cruises
Mhm.
when our son was little. Just it worked out financially for our family, and So, we did that all along, and then we took a Carnival or took a Royal Caribbean cruise, and then, like I said, we started looking at the loyalty benefits,
Mhm.
and that's basically what has kept us with Royal Caribbean. I mean, they just really, like you said, I mean, you realize once you spend so much time on the ship, you get a benefit that actually means you spend less per cruise.
Yes.
And when we started looking at it that way, we realized, we might as well stay with one cruise line.
Mhm.
And, they have so many different places that you can go. I know we're always
Yeah.
finding some place new to cruise that it's worked out great.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier you're empty nesters. Now, do your kids love Royal Caribbean as much as you, and do they still cruise with Royal?
So we have one son,
Oh,
and
just
just
like
like
us.
you.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
We did talk about that.
Yeah. So I mean, he's cruised. He has cruised with Royal Caribbean and with Carnival. I don't know if he's cruised. I don't think he's cruised with anybody else.
Mhm.
It's funny. We have a cruise planned this summer with him, which we haven't cruised together since he was in college. So it's been a minute, but he loves cruising. He loves travel. Yes.
Mhm.
So
They get busy with their own lives though, and you never know if they're still gonna wanna come back to mom and dad and cruise it with the family, but that's so cool.
yeah, well, I'm looking forward to it, and I think he
Yeah.
is too.
Now, now that you've reached this level, will having the Pinnacle Club status change the way that you book with Royal Caribbean in terms of like cabin types or itineraries or anything like that? Is there, or do you think you'll just kind of look at the same factors as before? Is there any influence now?
I don't really think so. I guess I did forget to tell one big perk that you do get when you turn Pinnacle is you get a free
Oh,
cruise.
wow.
I
That's a
forgot to say that.
lot. Okay.
Yeah, so you get a 7-night cruise balcony room that
Wow.
you choose, and I believe you have a year to do it. I'm not positive how long that is yet, um, but yeah, so you get that.
Yeah.
I don't really think for us. I mean, it's sort of hard, like when you have a goal that's obviously so big.
Hmm.
I feel like kind of we had to like to work to get there. So now it's like we can just relax and just not, worry about how many points we get this cruise or that cruise or whatever.
Yes.
So in a way, I think it's kind of better, just not to have to think about that piece of it.
Yeah.
But I don't really think it's going to affect the way we book. I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay, good. So, for someone who dreams of reaching Pinnacle Club level one day, where should they start? And do you have any strategies for them for point maximizing?
So one thing which I talked about earlier was if you have a solo cabin, you do get 2 points, or if you book a suite, you get 2 points.
Hmm.
So that's something always to remember. Like if you're going to book a cabin and the price difference between, like, say, a balcony and a junior suite might not be that much,
Hmm.
you would double your points for every cruise. The other thing that people, might not know is like my husband and I actually have a different number of points because he has cruised solo a
Hmm.
few times. So he has more points than I do. He actually is the one who went to 700 first.
Hmm.
So because we're married in the same household, I became Pinnacle because we have the same status. We will always share the same status.
Hmm.
So that's another way, like, say, if someone can go and the other person, just couldn't go on that cruise, that would be another way to gain points.
Hmm.
And the other thing is, like we took a lot of weekend cruises. I mean, we live in Georgia. We could drive to Port Canaveral on a Friday, leave really early, get there
Oh.
Friday, and then drive back on Monday.
Hmm.
You don't have to take a lot of vacation time that way. And like I said, we treated it like our beach house where,
Yes.
if we wanted just to
I
get away
love
for the
that.
weekend, that's where we
That
went.
was your beach house. I love it. Well, why? I mean, a beach house where you don't have to do any cooking or any cleaning. How cool is that?
Exactly. Exactly. It was
Yeah.
perfect.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's so awesome. So let's do some rapid fire questions. I know we did different ones last time, but since you've been on the show before, what is your favorite Royal Caribbean ship class?
Icon.
Okay. And why?
I think it moves the people around without having crowds
Oh, I love that.
ever.
Isn't that funny
Yes.
how the biggest
Yes.
cruise ships in the world can actually feel less crowded sometimes?
I do feel like it's less crowded, and
Mhm.
don't get me wrong, I love a small ship. We went on Brilliance in September, and I had the best time in that atrium every evening
Oh,
with whatever
yes.
was going on,
Mhm.
but, there's just something about that Icon class that
Yeah.
I feel like you just don't ever feel crowded.
And the ship is kind of the destination, whereas when you're on Brilliance, maybe you were going somewhere where it was about the destination a little bit too.
It was, exactly.
Yeah. What's your favorite itinerary?
Oh gosh, I don't know. It's funny you say so on Brilliance, we went out of Boston and we went
Mhm.
to Canada. I loved it because I think it was somewhere we had never been.
Mhm.
And that's probably I would say that's my favorite itinerary, somewhere I have never been,
Yes.
even though I will never pass up a day in Coco Cay.
Right. The
So
best.
I guess I have 2 answers for that.
Yes, I love that. What do you like to do at Coco Cay?
Yes.
Yes, everything. Water park,
Everything.
beach,
Everything
whatever.
and nothing.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
I love the water park.
Mhm.
If you have a group and you get a cabana, that's so much fun. Um, but if you just wanna sit on the beach underneath an umbrella, that is fun too. If
Yeah.
the water's nice, I'm in the water. Probably the biggest thing is I don't usually go to the pool. I don't do that, but other than that,
Mhm.
I like it all.
Yeah. I don't really like the pool either.
No.
I can totally see. What is the best cabin or suite you've ever sailed in? It doesn't have to be the fanciest, just the one that you enjoyed the most.
Well, for our Pinnacle cruise, we got a grand suite, and I
Yes.
will say, I told my husband we were so spoiled.
Mm.
We stayed on deck 17 on the Icon, which was right outside of Coastal Kitchen, and it was so convenient to everything that I'm like, "This is too good. This is
Yeah.
too."
You're like on your
Yeah.
own mega yacht that week.
Yeah, it was. You literally didn't even
Yeah.
see probably 3/4 of the people on the ship if you didn't want to,
Yeah,
but
exactly. Yeah. I love it. So what's your favorite loyalty perk?
hmm, I would probably say Coastal Kitchen.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, yeah.
And is just kind of like yes or no answer. Is Pinnacle Club worth it?
I think yes, it is. I
Yeah.
think it is worth it. I just, I mean, if you want to cruise, if
Yeah.
you want to cruise, then the elevated experience that you get every time you're on the ship, whether you have an inside cabin or if you have a suite, you have it when you're a Pinnacle. I feel like
Yeah.
that kind of just uplifts the experience every time. And that's kind of priceless, actually.
Yeah. I love it. Well, Joyce, thank you so, so much for coming back on the show and for sharing this huge milestone with me, with our community. I know everyone is so thankful to hear more about this. It's so rare. And congratulations.
Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate this opportunity to talk about the experience, and thank you so much for the acknowledgement.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We hope to have you on again. All right,
I hope
friends.
so.
Yay, I know. Until next time, friends, we'll see you on the high seas. Thanks for listening to Cruise Tips TV Unplugged. If you like our show and want to know more, check us out at CruiseTipsTV.com. You can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram by searching Cruise Tips TV. We'd love if you'd leave us a review wherever you're listening to this podcast, subscribe to the show, and tune in next week. Until next time, we'll see you on the high seas.